When it comes to rigging arms in Toon Boom Animate, there's generally two different ways I like to approach it. I can approach it as having a solid arm, as we have here, where it's curved, and then we would simply use drawing substitutions and draw out different arms. Or we can have an arm which is actually separated into the upper arm, the lower arm, and the hand. I'm going to go ahead and show you both of those. Now with our current arm, if I go to our transform tool, you can see that the arm is here, and the main thing we need to do is change where the pivot point is. Of course, by default, it's actually set in the middle of the screen. And to change the pivot point, instead of using the pivot tool or the drawing pivot, what I want to do is use the rotate tool that's in the advanced animation tools. If you don't see this, you can simply go to Windows, come down to Toolbars, and select Advanced Animation. So I'll select the rotate, and I'm going to simply move this pivot right to the shoulder. Now, the reason I like to use the rotate versus using the drawing pivot is once I start drawing, let's say, another frame of what the arm is going to look like, I'll simply turn on my onion skin here. And if I were going to do a rough sketch of what the next arm would be, okay. Once I went back and take a look at, let's say, frame 1, and let's go and select our transform tool. And we can see where the pivot point is on frame 1. If I select frame 2, it is also the same pivot point, and it would be the same for each and every drawing substitution we made of the arm. And the main reason is we use the rotate tool versus the drawing pivot. Now, the other way of actually creating an arm, I'm going to go ahead and turn this arm off. Let's go back to frame 1. The other way would be to create a hinged or a segmented arm. And think about it like the Halloween skeletons, the little paper skeletons that have little rivets. So I can select, I've drawn two layers here and they're empty. There's an upper arm and a lower arm. So I can grab my paintbrush and I would draw out what the upper arm would look like. And then select the lower arm and draw out what that would look like. Now I'm just going to go ahead and ink these out real quick. And I'm going to move these off to the side just to show you how we're going to set this up. First and foremost, I'll go ahead and give a nice thick and thin to it. All right, so that's set. And I'll also come here and select our top one here since we have that large hole. I'm going to convert this to a brush stroke. And just like we did when we were coloring the body, I'm going to go ahead and fill in this one large area here. So press the D key so I can see where the lines are and draw a little closing gap. Now to push this a little bit further, we'll go and grab our paint bucket. We'll find the shirt color. We'll fill in the upper arm and come in and we'll also fill the lower arm. And I'll press the letter D. And what we would do, I'm going to go ahead and lock all of our other layers here. And what we're going to do is come and select the lower arm, the upper arm, get those drawings out of the way. And we'll grab the upper arm, let's move this over. And again, I'm going to use my rotate to to set the pivot point to the upper shoulder. We'll grab the lower arm, move this where it should be, and change the pivot point here. Now, the tricky part is, what we want to do is, we're going to move the upper arm above this, and we'll make the lower arm a child to the upper arm. Now, if this goes out of place, we'll simply grab our transform tool and place this at the joint where it should be. And now if I grab the upper arm, I can rotate this and grab the lower arm and rotate that. So those are the two ways that I usually go about rigging an arm in Toon Boom Animate. Let's go ahead and unlock the other arm here. So you can have a hinged arm. We have those in several different layers. Or you can actually have a solid arm. In a lesson later in this chapter, we'll be going over how to push the hinged arm a little bit further by using what's called a patch.